Namaskar. Today, MPL is going to host interview with Learned Librarian of India. The first interview with well-known personality of library and information science, Dr. Parvez Akhtar, librarian, Maulana Azad National Urdu University, Hyderabad. Welcome, Dr. Parvez, to an MPLA interview series of learned library and information science professionals. Before start the interview, it is my duty to introduce Dr. Parvez. Dr. Parvez is University Librarian at Maulana Azad National Urdu University, Hyderabad, and is Nodal Officer for all departments and 12 satellite campus libraries of the university. Prior to joining Maulana Azad National University in January 2017, he worked as librarian at the prestigious Indian Institute of Management, Indore. He was also the first appellate authority on RTI matters at IIM Indore. Dr. Parvez has about 32 years of professional experience in various prestigious institutions, both in government and private sector. These institutions include National Council of Applied Economic Research, the American Center, USIS New Delhi, DELNET, India International Center, ICRA, and IIM Indore. Dr. Parvez has authored 10 books, contributed more than 20 papers in journal and books, and has delivered more than 200 invited lectures on various issues related to library and information science. Dr. Parvez specializes in designing process in various operational areas of library management and has successfully implemented them in his libraries, leading to staff efficiency enhancement. He is the managing editor of Journal of Library Management and is on the editorial board of the International e-Journal of Library Science and International Research, published by King Saud University, Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. He won the Best Paper Award during the International Conference on Innovations in Engineering and Management held at Balijet College of Applied Sciences, Muscat, Oman in February 2016. Dr. Parvez was recognized as the outstanding management librarian by Association of Indian Management Scholars and Institute of Rural Management, Anand. Promising Professional Award by SRFLIS, Best Young Librarian Award from Indore Division Library Association, Vish Lakshmi Best Management Librarian Award, and few other prestigious awards in the field of library and information science. Dr. Parvez is the founder member of Management Library Network called Malivnet and has been contributing to Malivnet activities since 98-99. In addition to holding of the position of General Secretary Malivnet, he was Treasurer of Indian Library Association for the terms 2002 to 2004 and 2004 to 2007. So, Dr. Parvez, now we are going to start the interview with you. Here is the first question. Dr. Parvez, you always wanted to become a chartered accountant. Then how you become a librarian?
Thank you, Prabhasa, for giving this opportunity to me to be interviewed by you. I think let me also tell you that as I told you last time also, that probably your association is the only association who is doing so many programs these days. And I must congratulate you for this. And of course, you have young Sandeep with you who has been contributing a lot, especially the technical part he takes care of. So, you know, you asked me I wanted to become a chartered accountant. तो एक मैं शेयर इस पे इजाज़त हो तो आप
जी
कहना
जी, इरशाद।
हजारों ख्वाहिश है ऐसी कि हर ख्वाहिश पे दम निकले बहुत निकले मेरे अरमान फिर भी कम निकले
क्या बात है सर।
तो मुझे लगता है प्रभात साहब इंसान बहुत कुछ चाहता है अपनी ज़िंदगी में लेकिन वो चीज़ें कुछ होती हैं कुछ नहीं हो पाती हैं so when I was pursuing my commerce degree from Jamia that time I was thinking of doing chartered accountancy because a lot of my friends in my university that is Jamia they were also wanting to do this course but then for some personal reasons I started looking for a course which is of short duration and after doing that course I am able to do some job or get some employment so I then decided to do library science, and I'm quite happy and I'm very proud of saying that I did this course and I really could do. I could serve the user community. So it was due to some personal reasons, I had to actually go to library science field rather than going to what I was thinking. So yeah.
थैंक थैंक यू सो मच डॉक्टर परवेज। नाउ आई रिक्वेस्ट माय कोलीग डॉक्टर संदीप पाठक, डिप्टी लाइब्रेरियन, IISER भोपाल, to take forward this interview. Over to Dr. Sandeep.
Thank you so much, Dr. Prabhat Pandey, sir, President MPLA. Dr. Akhtar, sir, here is the next question. What was your career path before coming to the Maulana Azad National Urdu University, Hyderabad?
Okay. So, what happened that while I was doing this library science course, we visited American Center Library in Delhi. And the library was so good that, I started thinking, wish I could work in this library. And there, on the same day, I gave an application to the library director, Ms. Hira Kapasi. So I just gave an application, and then we had exams, and then during this period, I was called for interview, and there were a couple of rounds of interviews. Then I was also asked to go to the U.S. High Commission in Delhi. There also I was interviewed, and then finally, when I returned home after appearing for my last exam of library science, I saw the appointment letter from the American Center. So it was really a big thing for me because I always dreamt of working in American Center. And next day I went and I asked Ms. Kapasi if I can join the center. And immediately she said, you can join from today. So I joined American Center and I worked there for about 8 months. In fact, Miss Hira Kapasi, she, wanted me to work for more number of years, and she wanted to give me a project. But then, she had some issues with the American officer, and finally, when I didn't know that. You see, after 8 months, on one of these Saturdays, she called me and she said that. Today is your last working day. So I was really shocked. But then, she started calling up a lot of people, and I did a small, computer application course. So she started talking to a lot of people, and she said, then, we have a boy, we have a young boy who is very good. He knows computer, he knows library science. So why don't you take this boy in your library? And then finally she spoke to Dr. HK Kaul, and then she in fact she decided my salary also, negotiated my salary with Dr. Kaul. Though she wanted though she wanted that I should get 3,000 rupees, but then the settlement was done at 2,500 rupees. So next day, I mean, on that was Saturday. So on next Monday, I joined the India International Center library, and I started working in Delnet. In fact, I'm the first employee of Delnet. So there, that time Delnet was a project. So I started working on that project, and my job was to basically train Delhi librarians in the use of CDSISS and common communication format. So the whole day I was all, roaming around, going to different libraries. I used to go to JNU where Majumdar Sahab used to work as professional assistant. And then I met, a lot of people in the process. And then finally, in 1991, I think, yes, I wanted to join some other place, but then Dr. Paul said that he'll give me a regular job. And then I was appointed as professional assistant, I think in 1991. And then till 1995, I worked there. In fact, when I was in Delnet, that time, email came up. We didn't know, and we all were trained in using the email. And there was a big function, when this email was inaugurated. Dr. Kaul invited some big shots to inaugurate email service. I mean, that was a time when, nobody knew email. And today, I mean, you really don't need to tell a child how email works. So, and then finally, I started thinking maybe, I should change my job. And then I joined ICRA. That's a multinational company in credit rating business. So there, when I went to negotiate with the managing director, thinking that I should not get anything below 10,000 rupees. And then when he started telling me the break of my salary, so it went to about 14,000-15,000. So for me, it was I mean, great bonus. So immediately, I joined ICRA, and then I worked there for in fact 16 years. And luckily my performance was good, and it was recognized also by the managing director, and I was given 2-3 accelerated promotion. So ICRA journey was quite interesting, and I earned a lot of money also from ICRA, I must say. And then in 2011 or so, I started thinking maybe I should now join an academic institution, a prestigious academic institution, management institution. So again, my luck worked, and I got appointment in Indian Institute of Management in Indore. So there I worked for 6 years, and after 6 years, I came to this university to deliver a lecture. And after delivering the lecture, the pro vice chancellor and vice chancellor wanted to meet me, and they offered me a job here. So that they said you leave that place and come to our university. And they said, there a lot of poor students are working here. There you have all these students who are from rich families. So the vice chancellor said, why don't you work here where we have poor students, and you should work for the society. So then, I finally in 2017 January, I joined this place, and I am enjoying this place too, like all my previous organizations.
Yes, it's very interesting and good to know that you are the first employee of Delnet, and we know now Delnet is a big success. Everybody knows about it. It is also a part of the syllabus of library science students. So thank you so much for sharing this. Now I have a next question. Most of your works are on application of information technology for library and information science. So do you have any formal training for that?
No, I don't have any training, but probably I am one of the persons who actually saw traditional librarianship also when there were no computers, and we started learning things from the scratch. I don't have any formal training, but I learned it the hard way by practically working on things, like most of us do. Not that it was something very different. And I always felt, and even today, I feel that, in libraries, you cannot separate technology. And unless you use technology, you really cannot bring efficiency in your processes. So technology is very important, and good thing is that I realized it quite early. And from the very beginning, I somehow realized that without technology, probably uh, libraries cannot run so successfully. But at the same time, having said this, let me also tell you that apart from good understanding of technology, technological applications in libraries, you also need to have a strong, foundation of library science principles. Unless you know library science principles, you will not be able to really apply technology in libraries. So that's what I feel, and but I think a lot of people learn on the job, like me. So I hope you are also learning every day. Pravas Saab is there; he's also learning new things every day. So yes.
So very true, Dr. Akhtar, and I see there is a message also in your answer. There is a message for young professionals that they need to have the exposure of IT while doing the library science course. So, sir, here is the next question for you. After becoming the librarian of MANUU Hyderabad in the year 2017, what all changes you did in the library in terms of technology or other sections of library services? Please share with us.
Okay, so I think, like many universities in India, our library also had a huge scope for doing things, improving processes. So the biggest problem, what I witnessed here when I joined this university, that the students were not coming to the library. Even faculty were not coming, and everybody used to tell me that they don't find books in our library. So then I started thinking, why this is happening, and then I realized that there was a major problem with our shelving. There were a lot of issues with the quality of our catalog records, and these are the basic things. So technology is fine, but your catalog has to be right, shelving has to be proper, and there were a lot of books which were missing from the library, but every time the software was showing that this book is there in the library. So ultimately, what was happening, that people were wasting a lot of time in uh, locating those books which were not here in the library, because we have few centers also. Some books were transferred to those centers, but catalogs was not reflecting this particular thing. So I thought maybe I should focus on the basic thing, that is improvement of catalog card. And you will not believe that the whole collection we did. So whole collection, we edited every book physically. And I'm very happy, and I'm very proud of my staff that for the last 3.5 years they have been working on this particular thing. And now we hope that by June we'll be able to edit all the catalog records in the library. And there are a lot of small things which obviously I will not go into the details. So that was one. Second was the library staff training. I found, that if I compare IIM Indore staff and the staff of my university in the initial days of my joining, I found that they did not have right kind of training. So what we did, that we started training the staff. We did some programs for all the staff, not just of the Hyderabad campus, but we called everyone. In fact, we have one center in Kashmir also. So from there also we called the staff here for training. So we did 3 or 4 trainings so far, and now I'm very happy that they have learned a lot. Another thing was that we started developing processes in the library, because I feel developing processes is very important. And if you have a process, possibly you will spend less time in doing a particular work compared to when you don't have any process. So we developed certain processes, and we did develop excellent process of acquisition and stock verification. These two process are, I think, I should get a patent for it, because these two, especially stock verification, the kind of process we follow, I don't think any university library follow in India, because the purpose is not to just know how many books have been lost. The purpose should be uh, to maintain those records. I mean, whether the right kind of accession number is there with the corresponding title, whether I mean, there are a lot of I mean, you both are librarians, you know how I mean, at point we at sometimes we find that there are same accession number on 2 or 3 books. So why it happens? So I think we developed a process, and by which it became very simple for us to conduct this stock verification. And when it comes to acquisition process, let me tell you, the kind of work that we were doing in 8 months, that got reduced to just 3 months. And in private, I will tell you how we did it, because in this interview, probably nobody is interested to know how when we did it. But yes, if somebody wants, I will be very happy to share. So I think these are few things we did, and we also created few repositories in the universities. So overall, my staff is quite happy. Whatever has been done here, our administration is quite happy. And let me also tell you, our vice chancellor who was there earlier, he was quite happy. The current vice chancellor is also very happy with the library services. And ours is one department, we have, I mean, our staff has a lot of respect in our university when it comes to, library services. So I think that is the kind of thing we should think of, especially how best we can serve the user. That should be the motto of every librarian.
So it's quite interesting and challenging too.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
So I have another question for you. That you are the first appellate authority on RTI matters at IIM Indore,
right,
during 2014 to 2016. So please tell us how that committee used to work and what all matters that you look after in it.
Okay. It is quite interesting. When I was given this work, because before becoming first appellate authority, I was public information officer. So when my director saw that, I performed very well as public information officer, then I was made first appellate authority. And in IIM Indore, that time only senior faculty used to be the first appellate authority. So I was made the first appellate authority. And during this process, we came across a lot of very interesting things. A lot of people were filing RTI applications. So initially I was not very happy with this work which was given to me. But then, everything, teaches you something. और मुझे लगता है कि शायद हमें थोड़ी बहुत दूसरी चीज़ें भी करनी चाहिए, क्योंकि आपको दूसरा एक्सपोजर मिलता है. तो मुझे लगा कि ये मुझे एक मौका मिला कि मैं इसमें काम करूं. और we encountered a lot of interesting things, several things when, our director was saying, no, we don't need to disclose this information. But I always say, no, we must disclose this information. What is the problem? It will not harm us. And it is as per law what I'm saying. So there were a lot of arguments with me and my director. And there was one interesting guy, he was a lawyer. So he used to file a lot of RTI applications from Bombay. And, in 1 year, I think he filed about 30 applications, and every application will have about 35 questions. And those 35 questions will have sub questions. So that was a very classic case. And let me tell you, still, some of the librarians of IIMs who are handling RTI, I'm very happy to say they still take my advice on how to respond to this particular thing. And then, why I'm saying that it is good to get exposed to other areas also, because then I was asked to teach this subject to our MDP participants. So I started taking classes in IIM Indore. So this is how I started taking classes in IIM Indore. And I'm very happy to say here that, in IIM, all IIMs, there's a feedback system. So my feedback about my class was as good as any other faculty. So I think for me, it proved wonderful, and it developed a lot of confidence also in me handling things. So, yeah.
So yeah, it looks like you enjoyed being at the appellate authority,
Yes.
and when you answering the RTI queries, it becomes a little difficult when the internal candidates, internal people file the RTI.
most
That
of the time it is like that only. The internal people, they give information outside, and they file RTI application. But at the same time, Sandeep, I feel that this is a law and it is a right given to us. I think the
Right.
administration generally, they feel bad if somebody is filing RTI application. I think you should not feel bad. It is the right which government has given us. If I'm using my right, but the problem is nobody likes uh, RTI applications. But I'm very open. I think people should file. I mean, they have the right to uh, get information. Why not? Unless and
correct.
until they are unnecessarily wasting the time of the public authority and harassing the public information officer or the first appellate authority.
Correct. And I have one humble submission to the government also, if they are listening this interview. Like whatever RTI Institute reply, I think those responded also can be somewhere, archived on the Institute website and maybe on public domain. So what is the advantage? Same kind of RTI will not get repeated. That is what is from.
Yes, I think you're right. Yes, there are some decisions in the public domain of the CIC, but this is a good suggestion. Probably the CIC, the commissioner, should take a look at this.
Yes. So thank you so much, sir. And then I have a next question. What are some projects or accomplishments that you hope to be remembered for?
So first of all, I think I want to be remembered as a good human being. Okay, for my staff, for everyone. I want to be remembered for taking care of my staff. I want to be remembered for not being a partial person, a person who did not discriminate any of the staff, faculty, or students on the basis of anything. So I think, but since you have asked, I think the project, so I think when I was with the Indian Library Association, we did a project of translating uh, uh, IFLA Public Libraries guidelines into 14 Indian languages. So that was one, I really liked that project, and we did a lot of work also. And it was, I would say, it was a good contribution of Indian Library Association. And second, I want to be remembered as the first Delnet employee who contributed a lot. I was quite young. I had a lot of energy. I still have, not that I don't have now. But obviously, things change with time. So I did a lot of things in Delnet. A lot of things started from Delnet. So, I mean, and I'm very happy that, when I left Delnet long back, that is, I think, 95 or so. And that time, when the foundation stone was laid at JNU campus, I was so happy that Kaul Sahab especially acknowledged my contribution when he was on the stage with a lot of dignitaries, some ministers, etc. So I think that is one, and I'm happy that Kaul Sahab acknowledged that. So it was very nice of him. Second, when I joined IIM Indore, uh, and in fact, at ICRA before IIM Indore, when people started talking about digitization in libraries, in 2005 or 6, I did a project of digitizing all the rating reports of ICRA. There were thousands of reports, lakhs of pages, And earlier what was happening, that all those reports were getting bound, and we were sending those reports to all 7 branches, hard copies. And every month, about 50, 60 such bound volumes were going to our branches. But then, in private company, decision making is quite fast. So we bought our software from one of the companies of ICICI, and then we started digitizing all the rating reports. And those rating reports were made available to all the analysts of ICRA across branches on their desktop, full text. And that was 2005. I mean, I think we have to remember that was 2004-5. So that was a very prestigious project, which I think we did. And then, when I joined IIM Indore, the budget of the library was not even 1 crore. It was about 90 lakhs. And our director that time, Dr. N. Ravichandran, he did not want to give any money. But I somehow was able to convince him. And he always used to say, either you convince me or you get convinced. And I'm very happy to say that I was always successful in convincing him. So when I left, in 6 years' times, the budget rose to about more than 5 crores. So I think that was something, I'm very happy about. And next is, I created a record retention policy for our library. So we had about 1,200 files unnecessary lying. So we created a policy of record retention, under which we discarded 800 files. So that was another thing. And then after coming to this university, though a lot of people do it, but the way we migrated our record from a particular software to Koha, I think that was 100% success in migrating things. I think these are few things which I thought maybe if people want, they can remember me. It's up to them.
And sir, that is the reason you are a role model for
I'm not sure.
So I have a next question for you, which is more challenging, to manage IIM Indore Library or to manage MANUU Hyderabad Library?
देखिए संदीप साहब, आप भी आइजर में काम करते हैं, वो भी एक प्रेस्टिजियस इंस्टीट्यूशन है, और अगर आप किसी यूनिवर्सिटी में काम करेंगे तो आपको पता है क्या प्रॉब्लम्स हैं. I think working in IIMs is far more easier, but at the same time I would say these are two different things. There's a sea difference between the functioning of IIMs and universities. In IIMs, there are a lot of things informal. Decision making is very fast, staff is trained, okay, there is no problem with regard to the discipline, etc. And whatever you want, you just get it. I mean, you just take approval from the directorate. Money is not a problem. They have a lot of money. IISER have a lot of money. IIMs have a lot of money. IITs have a lot of money. But when it comes to the university, the funds are always in scarce. Okay, पैसा कम है, आपके ख्वाहिशात ज़्यादा है. जैसे मैंने शुरू में वो मिर्ज़ा गालिब साहब का शेर भी पढ़ा था कि हम ये भी चाहते हैं कि हमारे वहाँ ये भी हो, हमारे वहाँ वो भी है, लेकिन यहाँ हमें प्रायोरिटी सेट करनी पड़ती है. आईएम में प्रायोरिटी सेट नहीं करनी पड़ती थी. जो आपको चाहिए आप ले लीजिए. यहाँ आपको सोचना पड़ता है. आपको अगर एक प्रोडक्ट लेना है तो काफ़ी सोचना पड़ता है कि हमें ये लें या ये लें. मतलब दोनों में एक चॉइस, इसमें ज़्यादा जो चीज़ अच्छी होती है फिर वो लेते हैं. तो एक मेरे ख्याल से एक ये सबसे बड़ी प्रॉब्लम है. और मैंने ये बात शायद पहले भी 1-2 प्लेटफॉर्म पे कही है कि ये जो फंडिंग का जो प्रॉब्लम है, जो इतनी ज़्यादा जो डिस्क्रिमिनेशन है फंडिंग में, ये शायद सरकार को थोड़ा सोचना चाहिए. शायद आप लोगों को पता होगा कि ये सोचिए कि 50% से ज़्यादा जो सरकार की फंडिंग है वो सिर्फ 3% स्टूडेंट्स को जाती है जो कि IIMs और IITs में पढ़ते हैं, जिसमें इसमें आइजर नहीं है, NITs हैं इसके अंदर. और आप सोचिए 50% से कम जो पैसा है वो जाता है 800 या 850 इंस्टीट्यूशंस को. और IIMs और IITs मिला कितना होंगे, 50, 60, 70 मान लीजिए, है ना. लेकिन अगर आप देखें यूनिवर्सिटीज़ इतनी सारी हैं तो 800 से ज़्यादा ऐसे इंस्टीट्यूशंस हैं जिनको फंडिंग इतनी कम है. जब फंडिंग इतनी कम है तो ये उम्मीद करना कि हम अच्छी रिसर्च करें, तो वो थोड़ा सा ज़्यादा एक्सपेक्ट करना है मेरे ख्याल से। लेकिन ये ज़रूर है कि जो भी जितनी भी फंडिंग होती है, इसमें हमें अच्छे डिसीजन लेने चाहिए, आपको क्या चाहिए, क्या नहीं। तो मुझे लगता है कि शायद ये एक बड़ा डिफरेंस है। और अगर आप यूनिवर्सिटीज़ में आएँगे, तो ब्यूरोक्रेसी बहुत होती है, हर डिसीजन में बहुत टाइम लगता है ना? कभी-कभी 1-1 साल लग जाता है। तो मुझे लगता है कि यूनिवर्सिटी के और आईएम्स के या इस तरह के दूसरे इंस्टीट्यूशंस के अपने प्लस और माइनस होते हैं। अ हर चीज़ के मुझे लगता है 2 पहलू होते हैं, और यूनिवर्सिटी के में कुछ अच्छाइयाँ हैं, आईएम्स में कुछ अच्छाइयाँ हैं। जैसे अगर आप आईएम्स में देखें, तो जो अगर पे स्केल्स हैं लाइब्रेरियंस के, वो बड़े कहीं कुछ हैं, कहीं कुछ हैं। कहीं लाइब्रेरियंस को 14 लेवल पे है, कहीं 13 में है, कहीं 12 में है। तो ये एक प्रॉब्लम है। अगर आप लेकिन सेंट्रल यूनिवर्सिटीज़ को देखेंगे, तो वहाँ एक सिस्टम प्रॉपर बना है कि भाई वहाँ जो यूनिवर्सिटी लाइब्रेरियन है वो 14 में रहेगा, he will have these privileges. But in IIMs, unfortunately, these things are not defined. In fact, I feel they do not want to define it. They want to just keep it like this, so that they can use it the way they want. So I think everything has its own plus and minus, and I'm very happy and I'm very fortunate that I got the opportunity of working in both the places. In fact, I'm one of very few university librarians who have worked in IIMs also. So that way, I think it is good for me, good exposure. Yes.
Yes, I agree with you, sir. And if you see, the IIM library is like a specialized academic library, and now you are in university library. So in many aspects, they are different. So it must be a challenging for you to, start working from IIM to your MA and UU. So, sir, I have a next question for you. Sir, you have served as a general secretary
Yeah.
of ManLibNet for many years.
Yes.
So how it's functioning different from other LIS associations?
देखिए, सबसे पहले तो आई शुड बी thankful to all the EC members of Manlibinet, who have been reposing their trust in me every time. And for last many years, I am the general secretary. At a couple of occasions, I said that somebody else should become the general secretary, but they said no, probably you should continue for one more term and then another term. So I think when you said how it is different, uh, I think I'm not saying that other associations are not like that, but I feel we have very committed people, and in every association there will only be 2 or 3 or 4 such committed people. The rest will be there just by their name, okay? But like if, for example, if I see MPLA, so I see only 2 names. Okay, I'm sure there may be many such people who must be working from behind the scene. Same is the case here. We have some people who are very active, but how it is different. Let me tell you that probably we were the first associations who started giving international travel grant, and we started giving it from 2012 when Parvat Saab came to IIM Indore. So from that year onwards, we are giving this a sum of about 65-70,000. Also, when we started the best paper presentation award, so there we kept the money as 10,000. It is not that money is important, but at the same time, it gives people more motivation. So, and then, we started, I think in 2008, we started Libraries Development Program. So these are very focused programs which we want to hold in interior areas of the country, so that, people who do not have the access to good libraries in cities, etc. I think they are the ones who should be trained in the latest technologies which he or she can apply in their libraries. So I think these 3-4 things which I said, one was travel grant, and then the best paper award, and of course LDP, and the last thing is the best librarian award. So we are very, I mean, some people do not like it, but we are very choosy about choosing best librarian. Now what we see, Prabhat Saab, in different conferences, that ये भाई आपको आप भी ले लीजिए अवार्ड, आप अगर ऑडियंस में बैठे हैं उनको ही बुला लिया, कभी सीनियर आदमी बैठे। आई थिंक इससे अवार्ड की जो वैल्यू है मुझे लगता है कम होती है। देयर हैज टू बी अ प्रॉपर प्रोसेस through which we should choose a person. I'm not saying that we did not commit any mistake in the past. We might have, but we are very careful. We fight with each other. No, we should not give the award to this person or that person. So we are very choosy. I resigned from Indian Library Association because of this reason only. IOSLA also has contributed a lot, and they are still contributing. I hope ILA gets more dynamic people, and it is able to serve the community.
Yes, thank you so much for sharing. And I know, when you get associated with any association, I know Dr. Prabhat Pandre, he is a president of MPLA, and I know what the challenges he face in day-to-day
Yes,
functioning.
yes,
Yes.
yes.
So that is always there. You do lot of things for association, but many of the times your contribution do not get appreciated. So with these words, sir, I have a next question for you. That's among your friends, you are known for your patience and persistence, goodness and calmness, positivity and happiness. Please say something on this.
जरा नवाजी, ये उनकी अच्छाई है, ये मेरी नहीं है। जो लोग ऐसा सोचते हैं, तो मुझे लगता है कि ये बहुत अच्छे लोग हैं जो ऐसा सोचते हैं, एंड आई एक्सप्रेस माई सिंसियर ग्रेटिट्यूड टू ऑल सच पीपल। और मुझे खुशी है अगर लोग ऐसा मेरे बारे में सोचते हैं।
Thank you so much, sir. The next question I have, it is everyone's dream to have a day with the Rocket Man and our ex-president, let Professor APJ Kalam. I think you got an opportunity to meet him.
Yes.
What was the occasion? Please share that moment.
Dr. Kalam used to come to IIM Indore quite frequently. He used to teach a course. So he had, come at IIM Indore for an interaction with all PGP students. So there, and I think Kalam Saab is probably the only president जिनके पीछे मतलब जिस तरह से एक जादूगर के पीछे लोग भागते हैं ना, चाहे वो यंग हो, चाहे वो ओल्ड हो, चाहे बच्चे हो, ये मैंने उनके अंदर देखा। और काफ़ी लोग उनके पीछे रहते थे और वो हर किसी से बात करते थे। सबसे अच्छी चीज़ ये थी कि अगर कोई उनको बीच में बच्चा मिल गया तो उससे कुछ बात शुरू कर दी। तो ये उनकी खासियत थी, और ज़ाहिर है ये मेरी बड़ी खुशकिस्मती है कि मेरी उनसे मुलाकात हुई। और उस छोटी सी मुलाकात में, शायद कुछ मिनट्स की मुलाकात में, उन्होंने मुझसे लाइब्रेरी के बारे में बहुत सारी चीज़ें पूछी, और कुछ चीज़ों का मैं जवाब नहीं दे पाया क्योंकि उनके क्वेश्चंस ऐसे थे कि एक तो जाहिर है आप फॉर्मर प्रेसिडेंट से आप मिल रहे हैं तो एक अलग ही वो ऑरा होता है, वैसे आपकी आवाज़ नहीं निकलती। लेकिन उन्होंने भी बड़ी जल्दी जो कुछ क्वेश्चंस पूछे उसमें से मैंने कोशिश की जवाब देने की। अब वो सेटिस्फाई हो या नहीं वो तो वो जानते हैं। लेकिन मुझे उनकी एक बात हमेशा याद रहती है कि उस मीटिंग के बाद उनका एक लेक्चर था, उन्होंने उसमें ये कहा कि whenever you see a destitute person, you should stop and think what you can do for that person. तो वो मेरे ख्याल से हम सबको, शायद मुझे लगता है कि अगर कोई इस तरह का गरीब या पिछड़ा या इस तरह कोई कमज़ोर अगर आपको नज़र आता है, तो मेरे ख्याल से शायद हमें सोचना चाहिए कि हम अगर उसके लिए कुछ कर सकते हैं। क्योंकि देखिए पावरफुल लोगों के साथ तो सारी दुनिया होती है, पावरलेस लोगों के साथ होना मेरे ख्याल से ज़्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट है। और मेरे लिए बड़ी खुशकिस्मती की बात है कि मैं उनसे मिला, और जब उनकी डेथ हो गई तो उस वक्त मैंने वो जो फ़ोटो था फ्रेम करा के अपने ऑफिस में IIM इंदौर में लगाया, और वो मैं यहाँ भी लेके आया हूँ, मेरे यहाँ भी लगा हुआ है वैसे मेरे ऑफिस में फ़ोटो।
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing, sir. Even I remember when I was in Ayuka
Oh.
library, Ayuka Pune.
Hmm.
So he had visited 2003, and he especially came to meet that our present director, that Professor J.B. Narlikar. He was that time the director, and he was a good friend of him. So he especially came to meet him. So with these words, sir, I have a next question for you. So let's move to the library profession itself now. There are many professionals with library and information studies degrees, which didn't used to be the case. How do you think this is going to shape the profession? Are we going towards a massively specialized profession?
हाँ, मुझे तो लगता है कि स्पेशलाइज काफ़ी हो भी गया है. अगर आप इफ यू सी द प्राइवेट यूनिवर्सिटीज विच आर कमिंग अप, देयर आर पोजीशंस फॉर रेफरेंस लाइब्रेरियन, रिसर्च लाइब्रेरियन. अगर आप जियो यूनिवर्सिटी का ऐड निकाल के अभी देखेंगे तो उसमें इस तरह के बहुत से लाइब्रेरी डायरेक्टर अलग है, सर्कुलेशन लाइब्रेरियन और एक यूनिवर्सिटी लाइब्रेरियन. तो ये स्पेशलाइज तो मेरे ख्याल से फील्ड काफ़ी होती जा रही है. और इसमें मुझे लगता है कि टेक्नोलॉजी जो है वो बड़ा इम्पोर्टेंट रोल अदा करती है. तो अगर आपको लाइब्रेरी साइंस अच्छे से आता है और अगर आपको पता हो कि उस अपने ऑपरेशंस को, अपने लाइब्रेरी फंक्शंस को आप कैसे एफिशिएंट बना सकते हैं, तो मेरे ख्याल से टेक्नोलॉजी उसके लिए ज़रूरी है. और मुझे लगता है ये जो रेफरेंस लाइब्रेरियन वाला जो डेजिग्नेशन है, मुझे अभी भी याद है. खैर ऐसा नहीं कि ये चीज़ बहुत नई है. अमेरिकन सेंटर में मैं 1988 में था. वहाँ रेफरेंस लाइब्रेरियन हुआ करता था, वहाँ सर्कुलेशन लाइब्रेरियन हुआ करता था. और सबसे ज़्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट पोजीशन जो थी वो रेफरेंस लाइब्रेरियन की हुआ करती थी. और रेफरेंस लाइब्रेरियन जो है वो सबसे ज़्यादा वहाँ डिमांड में हुआ करता था. और सबसे ज़्यादा जो सीनियर स्टाफ होता था वो वहाँ बैठता था. और आप यकीन मानिए कि every 5 minutes there was a phone call and people used to answer on phone. When in 1988, आज हम लोग कहते हैं कि भाई लाइब्रेरी आ जाइए, लाइब्रेरी आके ये ले लीजिए, है ना? कितनी अजीब चीज़ है. आप अगर कंपेयर करें आज से इतने साल, मतलब 32 साल पहले, फ़ोन पे आपको आंसर मिल रहा है ना? और आज भी ऐसी बहुत सारी यूनिवर्सिटीज़ हैं, हमारे लाइब्रेरियंस हैं, जो कि जब तक कोई फैकल्टी या स्टूडेंट लाइब्रेरी नहीं आए उसको वो इन्फॉर्मेशन देना पसंद नहीं करते. इट इज़ अनफॉर्चुनेट. तो मेरे ख्याल से ये स्पेशलाइजेशन तो लाइब्रेरी के अंदर देखिए आता जा रहा है. लेकिन उसके साथ मैं ये कहूँगा कि ये स्पेशलाइजेशन आपको जो क्रिएट करना है वो ऐसा क्रिएट होना चाहिए कि जैसे अगर मुझे सर्कुलेशन आता है तो मुझे एक्विजिशन भी आना चाहिए, मुझे रेफरेंस भी आना चाहिए. इसलिए एक ज़रूरी है कि हर स्टाफ को हर सेक्शन का एक्सपोजर ज़रूरी है, रोटेशन ज़रूरी है. अगर आप इस स्टाफ को रोटेट करेंगे तो उसको सारे सेक्शंस का एक्सपोजर होता रहेगा. क्योंकि अक्सर बड़ी लाइब्रेरीज में, यूनिवर्सिटी लाइब्रेरी में अक्सर क्या होता है कि डिप्टी लाइब्रेरियन हो गए या असिस्टेंट लाइब्रेरियन हो गए या लाइब्रेरियन खुद हो गए, उनको किताब इशू नहीं करनी आती. क्यों इशू करनी नहीं आती? क्योंकि उनको ये लगता है कि शायद ये मेरा काम नहीं है. ये ठीक है, दूसरे लोग ये चीज़ करते हैं, लेकिन आपको वो प्रोसेस आना ज़रूरी है. ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि कोई आपके सामने किताब लेके खड़ा है. मान लीजिए आपका वाइस चांसलर ही आ गया, आपके उस वक्त कोई स्टाफ नहीं है, आप अगर उसको किताब इशू नहीं कर पाए तो कितना एम्बेरसमेंट होगा. तो मुझे लगता है कि स्पेशलाइजेशन ज़रूरी है और आगे होगा भी और ऑलरेडी हो रहा है. लेकिन साथ में इट इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट दैट every staff member, it should be the responsibility of the librarian to make sure that every staff member is exposed to every section of the library so that he understands every section, he is able to work in every section.
Yes, you rightly pointed out, sir, but only problem comes when the staff, they don't want to get rotated among other for other sections. That it problem comes.
हाँ,
So
मैं
then
actually
how will
हमेशा संदीप कहता हूँ, मैं हमेशा कहता हूँ, it is very important that every staff should be made realize that his or her work is as important as yours. एक बार मुझे लगता है अगर ये एहसास स्टाफ में होगा कि भाई उनका काम भी इम्पोर्टेंट है, ये थोड़ा सा मेरे ख्याल से ये स्टाफ में कुछ प्रॉब्लम होती है, वो चेंज नहीं करना चाहते, लेकिन ये आपको चाहे प्यार मोहब्बत से, चाहे थोड़ा फर्म होके करना तो पड़ेगा ही, और करना भी चाहिए.
Yes. Because basically when they come in the like say one section for a long time, probably they are, you know, in a comfort zone.
Yes.
And then they don't want to come out from that.
Yes.
Probably that is the reason.
और एक चीज और है संदीप साहब,
Yes,
अगर
sir.
आपके मालूम अगर ये पता चला कि सर्कुलेशन सेक्शन पे सिर्फ 3 ही लोग बैठे हैं, सिर्फ 3 लोग, अगर जैसे हमारे वहाँ 3 लोग बैठा करते थे पहले सर्कुलेशन की, काफी भीड़ हुआ करती थी. फिर हमने जब चेंज करना शुरू किए, अपने रोटेशन शुरू किया, तो पता चला कि सर्कुलेशन की काफ़ी सारी प्रॉब्लम्स थी जो हमारे सामने आई. इससे क्या होता है कि इससे लाइब्रेरी इंप्रूव भी होती है. एक ही आदमी अगर एक सेक्शन में रहता है तो उसकी जो भी कमियां होती हैं उसे पता ही नहीं चलती. जब दूसरा स्टाफ जाता है उसको पता चलता है, और ये इससे ओवरऑल लाइब्रेरी का इम्प्रूवमेंट है. इसमें किसी को ऐसा नहीं है कि हम ये कह रहे हैं कि आप ये काम मत कीजिए, लेकिन मेरे ख्याल से उससे लाइब्रेरी के लिए बहुत अच्छा है, इंस्टीट्यूशन के लिए बहुत अच्छा है वो.
Correct, sir. Especially when you are working a bigger library, like I had experience working at
Yes.
IIT Kharagpur library. So
Yes.
this experience does matter. Like in my duration of 6 years, I got an opportunity to work for, I think, more than 4 sections. Now I realized,
Yes.
you know, that was a boon for me. So that, you know, that experience helped me to now working in this
Absolutely.
new upcoming institutions.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you so much, sir. Now I have a next question for you. How can a librarian positively impact their community?
So I think, first I feel that probably we do not have many public libraries, because not much importance has been given to public libraries in our country, except few states in South where, more attention is given to public libraries. So I feel that every university library, every IM library, even ISER libraries, I think we should make our libraries open to general public. Of course, in a selected manner with external membership, etc. So I think that's one thing where you can make some difference in the life of the community who resides near your institution. And second thing, I feel that your students, when they come to you, okay, you have to be very helpful, you have to be very friendly with them. Unless, I have seen librarians, most of the time, their doors are closed. Any student, graduate, I mean, bachelor's degree students or even postgraduate student, they hesitate coming into your room. So you have to make an environment where the students meet you, do not hesitate, and when they come to you, they talk to you about their problems and you solve their problems. So I think there has to be a very close interaction between the librarian and the student and faculty, so that you understand their problem. I tell you, one incident where a student got his thesis checked for plagiarism, and it had about 35-40 percentage, which was showing as similarity. And he came to me, and he was a research scholar, Kashmiri guy, he was a research scholar, and he started crying in my office that, there is so much similarity. So I, somehow made him quite comfortable, and I said that, this is not the thing. I counseled him, and then he was very happy. Okay. And after, he went to Kashmir for holiday break. When he came back, he brought a lot of elements for me. Okay. So if you help your user, they remember you, and you can really make a lot of change in the community by making them understand, especially the poor people. Especially at one point of time, I started thinking of getting myself associated with some public library movement in Telangana. But then because of some, institutional priorities, I could not. But, whenever I get an opportunity, I want to serve the general public by, it may or may not, but, I should try my level best that I'm able to make some difference in the life of our community people. And we must give back to our society as librarians. Librarians can play a very important role. Unfortunately, we underestimate ourselves. That is the problem. I think we have to understand our value for the society. We can do a lot. A lot of librarians have changed the life of their uh, students. Why can't we, not just we, why can't every librarian become a role model for this, and make your library a better place, a happening place? There are a lot of students on Teachers Day, and I am just telling you to just probably to inspire young minds, young librarians, that there are few students on Teachers Day, they'll put my picture in their WhatsApp as WhatsApp profile picture. I feel very happy. Okay, so I must have done something for them. So if you do something, they will recognize. They are very good people.
Thank you so much, sir. Yeah.
Sorry, I took very long in answering. Sorry.
No issue. Yeah. So I have a next question for you. What does customer service mean to you? How you will excel in providing superior customer service? Please express your views on this.
I think libraries are service organization that we must understand. Now, when we say service organization, which means we are here for our users. My existence is because of my users. If I don't serve my user, probably I don't have any right to sit here. There are two types of corruption. One is financial corruption. The other kind of corruption is that I have been, appointed as a librarian here. If I do not do my job properly, then I'm also a corrupt person. Okay. So if I am not really serving my user, then I feel, that person is a corrupt person. Financial corruption is different, and this type of corruption is different. I find certain groups that that they want to uh, 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 teach you something. Okay, so why can't we just learn from those people? Okay, user is king. If you follow 5 laws of library science, I think all answers rely on those 5 laws, where it says every book, his or her, uh, every, yes, every book, its reader, every reader, his or her book, save the time of the user. Uh, Libraries are growing organism, and I think there's one more. So I'm getting old, so I'm forgetting which was the 5th law. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is that user is the king. We have to understand. We have to make ourselves service organizations. If we are not, we have to stand up from our seat to help our user, to go with him to the stacks, to help him searching for books. The problem is, we do not stand up from our seat. We want a user to just find his or her way on his or her own. So I think that's it.
Thank you so much. So thank you also for sharing the 5 laws of library science. The first one was books are for use.
Yes. Thank you.
Informative. I
Yes.
think this has given a lot of information on this. So I have a next question for you, Dr. Parvez. Explain a time you successfully managed and resolved a difficult encounter with patron. Have you ever faced such situation?
I think after I have come to the university, every year we face such problems, because the student union representatives, when they get elected, they want to show that they are doing something. So they come to the library also, and they say, this is not right, that is not right, sir. ये भी होना चाहिए, वो भी होना चाहिए, लाइब्रेरी 24 घंटे खुलनी चाहिए, जबकि लाइब्रेरी 24 घंटे ऑलरेडी खुलती है। हमारा एक बड़ा रीडिंग रूम है, वो 24 घंटे खुलता है, लेकिन वो कहते हैं नहीं, उनको क्योंकि उनका जरा ध्यान पॉलिटिक्स में होता है, शायद उनको पता ही नहीं होता कि उनकी लाइब्रेरी 24 घंटे खुलती है। तो इस तरह की चीज़ें बहुत सारी आती हैं, और फिर ये होता है कि भाई ठीक है, रीडिंग रूम तो खुल रहा है, लाइब्रेरी पूरी खुलनी चाहिए, लेकिन वो ये नहीं समझते कि भाई लाइब्रेरी के अंदर रिसोर्स का प्रॉब्लम होता है, मैन पावर का प्रॉब्लम है। वी आर गिविंग यू द रीडिंग रूम, you come and study there. So explaining or convincing them every year is a big problem. But so far, in last 3 or 4 years, I've been successfully doing it, and they are very satisfied. They are very happy with the library. The other, such incident I remember, we had a book at IIM Indore library, and that book was recommended by a very senior faculty. It was every book, you cannot put restriction on people that you should not read this book, you should not read that book. So that book, there was a news report in one of the newspapers which suggested that they mentioned that particular title, and it said, it is spoiling young minds, etc., etc. And I found that that book we already had in the library. So because IIM Indore was already in the news for some reason or the other, so I met the director. I said, we should probably keep this book somewhere else. It should not happen that newspaper people should come to know that we have this book, like that book in our library. So we had to, I had to keep that book under lock and key in my office. So that was one. Second, one of the students said, why you are keeping this kind of book? This is very vulgar, etc., etc. Now, it is not the librarian who has to decide what books. Somebody can come, why you have book on this particular religion, you are promoting this religion, you are doing that. I mean, there are a lot of things, but, there are always different ways of handling it. So I think such incidents come to every librarian's life. I think you also must be handling such people.
Yes. Very true, sir.
Yes.
So I have a next question for you, Dr. Parvez. Sorry for asking too many. How would you help a college student conduct research?
Okay, so there is a video by Elsevier which says that every year so many people start their career in research, and then out of that only half of them continue for 5 years, and then only 35% of half of the researchers, they are able to successfully complete their career in research. And that video says that because there is a problem. The problem is our researchers do not know the tools for research. Okay, like for example, for being citations, references, how to locate most relevant information. All those things, are few things which research does not know, usually what we have witnessed. So it is, I think, the librarian's duty, or as a librarian, if somebody comes to me, a college student, first I will tell him that you focus on your research, and rest of the things, let technology handle it. Because if you start wasting time in doing things which technology can do, then I think you probably will not be able to focus on your research. So it's important that you focus on your research and use technology to do things like, you get enrolled in for ORCID, you start using some reference organizer, you use some discovery service if you can. Even if you do not have discovery service, there are different ways. So I think understanding of locating right information and most relevant information is important, and that's what I'm going to tell my research scholar, that he should learn.
Very true, and that it shows the importance of the librarians, and librarians also should be remain self-motivated and proactive. So
Right.
This will help the research fraternity.
Yes.
I'm coming to the next question, sir. That how might you create an inviting environment that promotes learning?
There are various ways, of course, but the basic thing I feel is that when a user come to the library, he should feel happy. Okay. As it is, in classrooms, they have a lot of pressure. Okay. Teacher can ask questions, etc., etc. But when he or she comes to the library, I think we should create an environment where a user is happy, where he feels the freedom that he needs for gaining knowledge. When say for example, if a user is taking a nap in my library, I will not mind. Okay. Maybe he could not sleep the previous night. So as long as he is not disturbing anyone, I am fine with that. There are a lot of students uh, who come here just for they study also, but then in between they take a nap for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour. I'm fine with that. There's no problem. They come sit at different places, not on their chairs. So what is the problem in that? They sit in gallery wall, so I have no problem. uh, you know when they come to the library, uh, they should feel that they are going to a place where they can really uh, uh, run their imagination, है ना? जिसे कहते हैं ना, अपने ख्यालों के घोड़े दौड़ाना। मतलब आप जो चीज़ लाइब्रेरी, आप ऐसा एनवायरनमेंट होना चाहिए कि कोई बैठ के आराम से वहाँ पढ़ सके, है ना? और I feel that we can also do a lot of activities that a lot of people are doing, uh, uh, but ultimate objective is to make them feel happy in the library. I think you have to bring happiness in them. And some students came to me and they said, sir, college is university is closed, you want to come to the library, what do we do? I said, you come to the library, I have no problem, you come and sit here. We have big libraries, so not that gets crowded because of COVID precautions, a lot of precautions we take, but then we distribute them. Some can sit there, some, and there are a lot of people who are coming to our library. So I think we should try to make library a better place for students and faculty. Uh, there should be an inviting environment in the library. The first person who sits at the reception circulation desk, he should or she should welcome them with a smile. So I think this is how you create an environment for users.
True. And what I seen when I visited abroad in these academic libraries, there I have seen the most senior person is sitting just near to the entrance of the library.
Yes.
But India, scenario is slightly different. It would be difficult to find a most senior person in the library where he's sitting. So, and one more thing you rightly pointed out, that with that time, we librarian also need to, change. And as you talk about the user's behavior, we need to understand, and we need to create like such facilities. Like here in our institute, we have created one facility is called Brain Space. So basically,
Yes.
there is no one will say anything. That's not a quiet zone. So we also need to create such zone where they can chit chat easily. They can have a small nap because they are also tired. They
Group
leave
discussion
their room
rooms,
by
yes.
9 a.m. Yes, and they go back by 8 p.m. So it is our duty to provide such environment, such place where they can
Yes.
feel like.
Yes, we have a small auditorium in our library. You will not believe. We have a small auditorium in our library. So sometimes, we call them inside. We do some activity. I think, especially, research scholars, they help us a lot. Whenever you want to do any activity, they always come forward and do it on library's behalf. So there is participation from students also. So they are equal partner in libraries, I feel.
Yes. Thank you so much, sir. I have a next question for you. Do you find importance in library instruction programs? What is your experience in conducting learning sessions? I request you to please share your experience.
Yeah, I think training, of course, or instructions programs are very, very important. Just a second, I think the battery is low. Just a second. Yeah. So, but what is important is that what is the content of that instructional program? What is the? I mean, there are two ways. One is that you just complete the formality of conducting, for example, a UGC HRDC refresher course. That is one. The other is you make it a program where the content is rich. So I think content should be the focus. Okay, and the resource person should be such who can engage participants. Already there are a lot of distractions. We have cell phones, etc., etc. Even in the class, when you see when you go for such programs, you will find that half of them will not be interested. So I think it is the resource person who should make the live environment in the classroom, and that environment can be made only if you have content, okay, and if you know how to deliver that content. So this is very important. But at the same time, there will be some people who will always be disinterested. So don't bother about those people. But I think my experience about conducting these sessions is that I always make sure that we have very rich content. At the same time, we have some games also. You will not believe that in a university setup, when we organized last training program for all our staff of 25 libraries, then we started that with with the exercise, with a game. And after performing that game activity, they came quite close to each other. So same thing I did for one of the UGC HRDC program. So you have to innovate yourself. You have to bring innovation in such programs. Unless you engage people, probably will not be able to do your job properly.
That's rightly said. And I'll share here, like when we used to, organize webinars earlier before COVID, hardly anyone was attending. But now I have seen, like today I conducted a webinar and it was full. Even I got many emails that, we could not join because there was a limitation in this, only this many number of users can join. So I had to conduct. So yeah, so adding to my question, I'd like to hear that, engaging the users is very important, as you rightly mentioned, the content. So like, if you consider today's scenario, then when you organize a lot of training program, you also need to see the various research support tools which will really help them. For example, if you talk about the reference management software, then you need to talk about open source software, which is easily like Zotero, Mendeley. You also need to talk about various open educational resources, as you rightly mentioned. So thank you so much, sir, for your answering this question in very described manner. So I have a next question for you, sir. How does social media act as a tool in crafting a powerful online presence? How do you use social media as a librarian? Yes, sir.
Okay. I think nobody can deny the fact that social media is a very, very powerful tool to make your presence felt. Okay. And what we see today is that even, elections are won on social media. If you see United States, if you see the reports, then 2014 elections of United States, or 14 or 15, I don't, yeah, I think it is 5 years, 4 years, I think. So there, the whole propaganda was run on social media. Lot of misinformation, and that is how elections were fought in the US. And similarly, here also, if you see India, I mean, social media does play a very, very important role. If you want to make your presence felt, uh, you have to be there on the social media. But having said that, what I see today is that uh, we have gone overboard. I'm talking of librarians. Uh, I mean, instead of promoting library services, okay, we have started promoting ourselves more than the library services. So that is a thing which is happening today. So there's a concept called library marketing. Everybody thought we should and everybody does also. We should market our library services on social media. We also have a Facebook page. Our university has a Twitter handle where we keep uploading things, which is very very important. But I think priority should be given to institutional things rather than giving my own personal things. Say, for example, if I have gone uh, at some place for a lecture, fine, I should give it, but it should not, become such a practice that it looks like too much of that. So I think self obsession is the problem. I feel, but otherwise, social media must be used by librarians, and not just by librarians, of course, anyone. And so what is happening now, people are not responding. If you say students, they don't respond to you on your email, but if you put something on social media, they will respond. They will see. They will not open your email, but they will see on social media. So this is how I think social media has become so important. So, and I think every library should have social media presence more than our own presence. I think uh, uh, libraries' presence is more important. But having said that, there can be an argument that if a particular person is presented more on social media, probably his or her institutions also get visible. So that is also true to some extent. So I think there are all kinds of argument, but yes, as I said, there's no denial of the fact that social media is a very powerful tool, and there is no way that we can ignore such an important tool even for libraries. So we have to make our presence felt on social media.
Correct, sir. And end of the day, users should get benefited
Yes,
because librarians are doing some like activity, putting on the social media. So backside of they must be doing. They are doing some activities, so that
absolutely.
they get motivated by seeing the activities of the other librarians. So that we can see as a positive side. And I personally, feel like Twitter. I personally feel is a better. Social media even to update our knowledge being a librarian. If you follow any particular journal where keen, for example say Nature Index,
Yes,
they have every day they have a very good articles. So I think it is up to us how as you rightly pointed out, it is up to us how you make a best use of
yes,
social media. But of course when we make a social media use of social media for our institutions, libraries, so that comes with the responsibility, and there we need to be very particular what we are going to post on that. So thank you so much, sir, for answering and enlightening us on this. So I have now second last question for you, sir.
okay.
The previously you have treasurer in Indian Library Association,
Hmm.
ILA. So please give your views on role of ILA in betterment of librarianship in India. Yes.
So I think ILA, could not do what it was expected to do, unfortunately. And let me say it very bluntly. Probably we expected more from ILA because ILA is the oldest association in India, and it is a very important body for our librarians. But a lot of politics came into, and we unfortunately did not come to the expectation of our fellow colleagues. And responsibility, I think, is everyone's responsibility. Okay, just by winning election is not the objective of any association. Okay, the objective should be the welfare of library professionals. Now, when I say welfare, I mean to say, how can you make a difference in their professional career? Can you, train them? Okay, is library doing that just by holding annual conferences? I mean, not just for ILA, for any association. I must appreciate, the kind of work which MPLA has been doing, especially after COVID, is remarkable. Uh, uh, and you have made so much presence among association that I don't think anybody is. Just a second. I don't think. Okay, just a second, because I think there is some problem here. Yeah. So, yeah, what I was saying that your association has made excellent contribution to this profession, by doing a lot of panel discussions, calling experts, uh, not just from library science field but from other fields also. And the topics which I see are really very, very important, and it is actually giving exposure to all our young librarians. So that is the kind of role which should be of every association. ILA, they have a lot of money, they can do a lot of things. Okay, they have a name, uh, uh, but without blaming any individual person, I would say that maybe responsibility lies with us also. We are also, if ILA has not changed, then maybe we are also responsible for it. I am also responsible for it, because leaving any association is very easy, but being there, working there, and making sure that you are able to contribute as an association for this profession, I think that is important. So ILA, I had very good experience, and I'm very thankful to both the ILA governing bodies in those years, who nominated me as treasurer, because I did not fight election. So it is a nominated position. So maybe I was considered to be an honest person. That is why I was given treasurer. But that created a lot of problem for me, being the treasurer. So, but yes, ILA probably should do more, and we are also responsible if ILA is not doing. I consider myself also equally responsible for it. I will not just like to blame someone else.
Yes, thank you so much, sir. And I know because I have seen, Dr. Prabhat Pandey working as a president, MPLA. And I remember, when mid of the April, as you pointed out, so I just want to mention here, mid of the April, he called me and he says, why don't we utilize this time and let us start, the series of this webinar. So I remember his first call when he made in mid of April, and then since on now we had a good number of, and I just also wish to mention we did not took a single penny from any of the from any webinar and for any of these things. So I think this is the platform. I think as you also mentioned, you are part of also our few of the webinars. So I think this is the platform. We should actually thank Dr. Prabhat also for taking this initiative, and end of the day, educating young, especially the young library science professional, what are the new topics, what is going to happen, as you mentioned, very relevant topics. So I think we salute, sir, your leadership, Dr. Prabhat sir.
Absolutely. I have told Prabhat Saab informally also that, he, the MPLA has been doing wonderful work.
Yes. So coming back to the sir last question of this interview, yeah. So it's sir this as I know these librarians are very busy, and since we are well into the subject, if you had a single piece of advice for an academic librarian, what would you say?
If you say just single piece, so I would say one sentence, but then I will have to say something more also. Every librarian should consider himself or his library or her library as service organization. That is very, very important. Unless you give importance to your user, probably you are not a successful librarian. You can never be a successful librarian if you don't give importance to your user. The user may be a student, user may be faculty. What I see is that faculty is given so much importance. Circulation desk पे जो होगा कभी वो खड़ा भी हो जाएगा, जो student आएगा तो उससे वो उसकी तरफ देखेगा भी नहीं. So I think I feel students are more important because they are the ones who frequently come to your library. So you have to give equal importance whether it is a student or faculty or anyone else. That is one. Second, I feel that especially I would just a second. Yeah, I would think of one thing. Every librarian should have that. He should give importance to dignity of every employee. Okay, that giving importance to every employee is very, very important, whether he is office attendant, whether he is library attendant. I think they should feel that their work is as important as the work of a university librarian. Only then they can, really contribute as a team. Second, I feel that taking people along is very, very important. So here, my advice is for the librarian, not the library staff. So they must ensure that they take everybody along. Working in isolation is very easy, but working in a team is very, very difficult. And at the same time, it is very important. So I think that team has to perform. As a team, you have to perform. If your team is in order, let me tell you, you can do wonders in your library. But if your team has some problem, I mean, I'm sure, there can be one or two such issues. So barring that, majority of the staff, you should motivate them, and you can lead by example. It cannot happen that I'm just sitting on my seat and not doing anything, and I'm expecting my staff to do everything. I think that's not fair. So I should lead by example. And then, the least I think we can do is that we can be humble to our staff members. We can be polite to everyone, and uh, do everything whatever is possible at your end to make their life better as an employee of your institution. So I think saying this in one line, and of course, आप humble तो कम से कम रह सकते हैं अपने स्टाफ से, इतना तो कर ही सकते हैं, ठीक है. लेकिन साथ में हाँ, इसी when I say this, I am not saying that your they start treating your goodness as your weakness. That also you have to ensure. Okay, so you have to be firm at times, but at the same time you have to protect your staff. And every library professional uh, must ensure that user is given every importance that he or she deserves. Only then you can make a successful library, in my opinion. So I think this is what I had in mind. Hope I don't know whether you are satisfied with my response or not, but I said it.
Perfectly, sir, perfectly. And you rightly pointed out that the user should be our first priority, whether it is at the case of physical library or when you received any query by email or anything in any way. If you respond, I think they also appreciate. The good thing
Yes.
with the user fraternity, if we respond, they appreciate at various platforms.
Yes.
So as you rightly mentioned, we should, lead from the front, being a librarian.
Sandeep, when I left IIM Indore, I saw that all the research scholars on my last day, they all came to the library and they said that they wanted to give me a farewell. So we went outside the library in that ground, and they gave me a memorable farewell. Why it happened? Because we gave importance to the library. I said to my staff, you never say no to your users. There can be such certain cases, but you have to handle those things. So I think the respect is earned. Okay, so in the eyes of your user, I think that is very, very important. If user is happy, भाई देखिए, बात ये है कि अगर आपका यूजर खुश है तो 10 जगह जाके आपकी तारीफ करेगा ना, कि भाई संदीप साहब ने मुझे ये हेल्प किया. वो हमको आपको हमेशा याद रखेगा. मैं अभी भी देखता हूँ कि कुछ लोग जो हमारे स्टूडेंट्स IIM इंदौर में थे, यहाँ है, वो कहीं ना कहीं मुझे एक्नॉलेज करते हैं, तो बड़ी खुशी होती है मुझे. तो इसलिए और मुझे मोटिवेशन होता है कि भाई we should try to help them to the extent possible.
Yes. And I just wish to mention here that my previous institutions, still I get an email for the various articles and ebook, though they can contact the person who is sitting. So I feel really happy, in spite of I left the institution long back, still I'm getting that email, for to help them in academic way. So it's actually,
Yes, Sandeep and Prabhat Saab, I'm so happy to tell you, एक मिस्टर DN घोष हैं, फॉर्मर SBI के चेयरमैन हैं. अब उनकी उम्र कुछ 95 ईयर्स हो गई होगी, और मैंने उनके साथ 15 साल काम किया इकरा में, और मैंने इकरा 95 में छोड़ा. सॉरी 2011 में छोड़ा. You will not believe that even today I renew all his subscriptions. Whatever he wants, he calls me. I do it for him, and I'm so happy that he still remembers me. Whenever he gets any problem in accessing Questia, Questia basically is a database of ebooks. He calls me whenever he wants any book. He asks me. I purchase book for him. I send it to him, and he then sends me a check. So it is so good to and he was not just the chairman of SBI. He was chairman of Philips. He was chairman of L&T. He was the one who did the nationalization of Indian banks in close coordination with Mrs. Gandhi. So he's such a big guy. So still he trusts me. So I mean, it is very nice of him. So these are the things, these are things which you earn actually.
That is the why, sir, I told you you are a role model for all of us.
Exactly.
So thank you so much, sir, for answering all the queries and sharing your views. And it was my honor to be a part of this interview.
My
Now,
pleasure.
with these words, thank you, sir. Now, with these words, I request our Honorable President MPLA, Dr. Prabhat Pandey, to conclude this session. Prabhat, sir, over to you.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Pathak, for conducting interview on behalf of MPLA. So thank you so much Dr. Parvez sir, for sharing your views in detail on every aspect of library and information science and your other aspects. You discuss all the aspects in detail. Once again, we thank you for accepting our invitation and giving us your precious time in spite of your busy schedule. Thank you so much, Dr. Parvez sir. Once again, we did not express in words. So thank you so much. Your views always inspire all of us. Soon we will have next interview of learned library and information science professionals, which will be communicated shortly. Thank you so much. Thank you so much,
Thank
Dr.
you. Thank you, Prabhat sir. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, Dr. Parvez
Thank
Saab,
you.
or thank you, Dr. Pathak, especially. Thank you.
Okay. Good night.
Good night.
Bye bye. So I'll now end the meeting from here.